Hey, welcome back to my channel, Jeannie Lynch. Happy to see you again. Thank you, thank you. I'm really excited today. I'm going to be redoing, revamping, reorganizing a very popular video on my channel, which is the top 10 spiritual channels on YouTube. And I will tell you, I did this back in October 2018. Whoop, I'll tag that right there. But I will tell you, oh my God, have we changed, or I've been exposed to so many more amazing channels. And I want to share those with you. And I also want to kick some of the people who are on that list off and give you an updated version. So if spirituality is your jam and you love anything spiritual, I'm going to be highlighting channels that have more than just one little niche on their channel, that they're really seen as teachers in the community, and they're here to do the work that I feel I'm doing, which is to make spirituality accessible and easy to apply to your own life. Oh my God, so yummy. So stay looking, stay watching, stay listening. That beautiful video and podcast is coming up next. Hey, thanks for staying clicked in. I thought I'd start this by sharing what my other video highlighted as the top 10 spiritual channels. I'm going to list those off for you now, just so you can get a sense, and I'll let you know the ones I've removed. And yeah, so stay listening. Here's the beautiful slide that shows the top 10 spiritual channels from October 2018. I had... in the order of them, right? The number one was the teachings of Abraham, Dr. Joe Dispenza, Buddhist Society of Australia, the Be Here Now Network, Brene Brown, Your Universe, Tara Brach. I had for meditations, my favorite channels were Jason Stephenson, Michael Seeley, Joe Tracy, Off the Left Eye, which was the whole teachings of Emanuel Swedenborg. And then the last one was Teal, Swan, and Infinite Waters. Those two were connected. So come back to me now. Right out of the gate, I'm probably going to get some controversy about this. I'm okay with that. Teal, Swan, and Infinite Waters, they really kind of came out. They do a lot of partnership. It's no doubt that Teal, Swan has been kind of banished, has been bopped over the nose more than once about being a little dark and cultish. And I will have to tell you, she came from a cult, so I understand why you might think she has that energy. I used her in the beginning of my spiritual practice because she had a lot of the foundational work. And my experience today with her is, and this is probably, people are going to comment and be upset with me. If you love her, keep following her. I'm okay with it, all right? I don't listen to her anymore because she just got a little too, almost like she was the source of knowing, like a little too big for herself, in the sense that it didn't feel like it was coming from divine. It felt like it was coming from Teal. Okay, so go ahead and buzz out if I pissed you off. I'm okay with that. The other people that I will continue to have as part of my beautiful channel, I love everybody still on this list too. I just think that, I'll give an example, Joe Dispenza, who I love his work. If you listen to one Joe Dispenza and you buy one of his books and you listen, when he goes out to do his teachings, he pretty much has scripted the same thing. So I felt like I got too saturated from the same story being told time and time and time again. And so if you've heard him once or twice, maybe you've got all you need. Get a couple of his books and you're good to go. So I say that to set up this video because I really highlighted people that have part of the ascension, that are considered to be teachers, that are on the cutting edge as we ascend, right, from fourth to fifth dimension. Or they have those practices that teach us how we got there. So let's get into it. So good. Okay, now that you know who's not on my list, and some of those are still amazing and I still refer to them, they just didn't meet the 2022 cut for this criteria for this video. I'm going to do these in 3 people at a time so I can give you all the data of the channels and tell you how long they've been on YouTube and what I like about them and how many videos and what they focus on. If I'm doing this today and I get to the end and I didn't mention a channel that you think is spectacular and has helped you and kind of meets this criteria of being a teacher and teaching these principles out for everybody to understand, making spirituality accessible, please, this is an interactive video. I would love it if everybody commented on their top 10 below so that other people could check it out. As you know with YouTube, right, I'm going to be sharing some bonus ones at the very end. They're small channels that I believe you'll never find because of the algorithms out on YouTube, but they have that information that's so good. So there's so many of those. And if you're watching this and you're one of those, I want you to feel invitation to put your channel in the link below, and especially if you're a spiritual channel. I would love to make the connection and I would love to get to know more spiritual people and collaborate on YouTube. Okay, so let's keep going. The top 3, I'm going to give you the 3 first, my favorites, and then if you are around at the end, I'll give you some bonus ones, but so you don't click out early on and make you wait to the very end to get the ones that might be your channel. Let's do this. My #1 channel right now for the go-tos that I find myself listening to and enjoying quite often is Lee Harris. He is amazing. He is a channeler. He had his own spiritual awakening. He has a beautiful podcast where he interviews people from around the world, creatives, thought change people who have modalities and different techniques that they use, and they come on a show and he shares those. Phenomenal. And the thing that he's most known for is his community. He has a beautiful portal of people that belong to his network. He's a teacher. He gets on and does monthly giveaways, and you can belong to his community. He does energy updates every month, and in my spiritual group, we're chomping to get his video releases, and we put them up within a day. So he's always on time with those beautiful energy updates, so you will love him. Okay, my second one that I'm totally immersed in right now is Christina Lope. If you don't know who she is, she does an amazing job. Her site is completely organized. She's really on Instagram. She's a teacher all over the world. She has these beautiful retreats. She teaches people about connection to their guides. She dives into shadow work for you. She actually has this huge activation where she'll invite 10,000. I was on a meditation with her once. 10,000 people from around the world were listening and doing an activation with her. She is phenomenal. She has such a great way of explaining it, and she truly is dedicated to the work of helping others reach enlightenment. So, Christina Lope. Here's the statistics as you're looking too, and the last one of this 3-part slide is Aaron Abke. So many videos out on the system. I found him because I was looking into the teachings of Ra, the law of one, those channeled work, and he just had such a phenomenal way of breaking it down. He's also immersed in the Course in Miracles. He breaks out each lesson and he explains it, and he allows it to be into your own life, so spirituality, making it accessible and easy to apply to your own lives. His videos are top rate as far as how they're edited, sound, lighting, everything. So totally engaged to see him, and he puts up phenomenal content. Okay, my next 3 that I love is Eric Oddo, O-D-D-O. I'm probably saying his name wrong. I apologize. I found him years ago because of astrology. He was doing kind of like the energy updates and stuff. And I love the way he talks. He's on the road. He has these beautiful ways of bringing spirituality to the masses. He has a beautiful following. Wide range of topics, from meditation to mindfulness to how to connect with your guides again. So I really do see him as a teacher and putting out stellar content. Check him out. I put up his stats right there. I could not have a top 10 without putting Sarah Brach out on as for spirituality. She's my Buddhist connection. I love her work, her voice. She goes live on YouTube every Wednesday and part of her Facebook group. She's on so many different platforms. And she has such a great way of telling the stories of the Buddhist teachings and mindfulness. And if you don't know who she is and you don't listen to her, please go to her site, type in whatever type of an experience you're having. Let's say you're dealing with, I need forgiveness, or you can do tarot or Brach, any subject that you're in conflict with right now. And I promise you, she has an entire talk on it. So much content, so much rich, beautiful books. I own a lot of her books back here. Okay, and the last one out of the three, we have, Dolores Cannon. Dolores Cannon's work, it's funny, very old work, but still so relevant to today. And if you don't know who Dolores Cannon is, guess what? If you're watching my channel, you do. But here's what is amazing about her work. She started off, she has this technique, quantum healing hypnosis technique. She coined it. She was really the first person to start the whole past life regressions before Brian Weiss made it cool, okay? And she started channeling, and in those past life regressions, these whole collection of guides started to come through, and they channeled all her books, from The Convoluted Universe to, she's got 16 different books published in every place. She has a whole publishing company, then she puts out more spiritual stuff. She has passed, and I think it's her daughter that has taken over her beautiful publishing company and the Dolores Cannon channel. And her teachings are so relevant for where we are today because all the channelings have come true, right? Where we are with ascending and what's taking place in the fifth dimension. So she really was a pioneer of where we are today and so relevant. So if her work seems like too old for you, get over yourself. It's completely for today's work. I'm so glad you stayed up to this point because the next three on my list are really like 10. So I'll explain that in a minute. My first one of the top three, next, Animated Abraham. If you have not seen Animated Abraham, it's the teachings of Abraham. So Esther and Jerry Hicks will forever be on my top 10, number one. Animated is the same thing, but they do little snippets of it, and they capture the comedy, they capture the sarcasm that that Abraham's teaching does have, that Esther does such a great job of bringing forward, and makes so much sense, and does it in a way that's like a fresh look, instead of just watching Esther channel on stage, which I know many of us have gone to and watched and can watch her all day. But the Animated Abraham is phenomenal. So I'm putting up the slide and the statistics to that channel. So my next focus is so niche for me, and so I apologize if you've never done Kundalini yoga. It's totally part of my practice. I'm a yogini. I love yoga, but Kundalini has really saved my butt in the last couple years with panic and anxiety and COVID. So I wanted to highlight 3 channels that I'm immersed in right now for yoga. And some are big, some are small, but my go-to. So my number one go-to right now is Refeel Yoga, but they traveled the world, they've settled, and they have this channel. When I first started talking to this man, he had 1,000 subscribers. He was like me, he was trying to hit that 1K. And since then he's up to like 20. He has a community, I belong to his community. We talked about doing an interview, still want that to happen. What I love about him is he does challenges where he gets on, 30 days of, and he has such a great way of teaching it. He truly does, him and his beautiful girlfriend live straight from the heart. They're dedicated to making this work accessible to everybody. And then the second one is a new one for me, and I'll put up this person's slide. I literally only found this woman about a month ago, but she's a relatively great sized channel. She's got a lot of great videos. I love her delivery when she's talking. She's a numerologist, and she puts up a whole bunch of Kundalini videos that are about, beginner start here, about and explains about the bodies, explains how numerology is connected to Kundalini. She explains the 10 bodies, the 11 bodies, but then goes into how they connect to our lives. And so she's a great educator and also puts herself, offers out numerology, and she works with people one-on-one from YouTube. So, definitely going to be doing some more work with her. And then the last one in my 3-cart category of yoga is Allie, the Journey Junkie. And she does a lot of work around the chakras, a lot of Kundalini. I think right now she's probably 9 or 10 months pregnant if she hasn't already had her child. She's revamped and changed her channel in the last year, but so amazing. She offers so much from her heart. She teaches people how to do yoga. She makes it relevant for everyone to do. You know, I could say Bren Larkin, I could say Adrienne, like we all know those people. You might not know about Allie, and I wanted to give her a beautiful recommendation for her work. She's just a kind soul, and I think you will love her. Okay, almost done. The next 3 and then some bonuses. If you're staying watching, I love you. Next slide, please. Okay, so my next slide is 3 of my top 3 meditations. Channels that I absolutely love. Jason Stephenson was on my original. To this day, he is still the one that when I'm in the middle of a panic attack, I can put him on, and just his voice completely calms me down. So I think you'll feel the same way if you don't know who he is. I have a hard time believing you don't know who he is. I love Michael Sealey still for the hypnosis. And, you know, it's hypnosis for panic, hypnosis for sleep, hypnosis for smoking, whatever it is, he has a hypnosis on. He tends to focus a little bit more on the hypnosis over just meditation. And the last one, the Honest Guys. These 2 gentlemen have phenomenal meditations. And, oh my God, they were my beginning. I think the door opened when I started with these 2, and now they've just branched out. They do so many amazing different meditations. I'll put up a few that are my fave in this slide and show you the numbers and statistics. So, okay, come back to me. Please, meditations is my jam. If you have a meditation channel that I did not list that should be listed, please, again, share the links below. We appreciate it. Okay, and so for the last one, I'm going to let you decide, because there was 2 and I just couldn't pick. So I'll let the viewer make this last decision for my top 10. And it's between Mind Valley, who I love. I just got the guy's book. He's brilliant, and he has a huge community. It wasn't always easy for this man to start Mind Valley, but today it is the community it is. And then Michael Saunders, his beautiful channel about all light, and he does interviews with amazing people from all around the world. And he is a channeler, and he's a medium, and he's an intuitive, and he is just, he's happy. And if you listen to him, you know that. So you listen to him and you feel happy, you can't not. And he tends to bring people in that vibrate at the high level he is. So you tell me, Mind Valley or Michael Saunders, or maybe both. Maybe it's a tie. You let me know, okay? So, ending this video, I'm going to do a shout out to 2 people right now that I'm going to guess you haven't heard of, and that is because their channels are relatively small, but not for long. And here are 2. Debra Lupien. I did a video with Debra. I'll tab that here, and I'm a fan. She does her energy updates. She has community stuff where you can get on and have a metaphysical talk. You can get on and meditate with her. You can get on and ask questions from her. She really does put herself out there as a community, and she's very niche in the sense that she's consistent. So she has the first Monday and the second Tuesday, and so she's easy to follow that way. Phenomenal content, amazing information. She channels oh my God, Maya Angelou showed up. She's channeled so many different people. So they show up and she just lets them come through. It's not like she goes out and tries to find them. They show up for her in her meditations. So please check out Debra. And then the last one, and I'm going to say goodbye after this, is Linda Lang. Linda Lang and I just finished an interview. We're getting ready to do some more collabs together. And first off, her voice is phenomenal, so you will love it. She's calming. She's also a healer. We've done some healing work together and we'll continue to do so. And she's another thoughtchange.com, right? I have plenty of slides I can put up about Linda Lang. What I love about her is she's interested in bringing on people just like me. We don't compete, by the way, because we're here to do the same work. Debra, Linda, and I feel, are all part of the Lightworkers and, the responsibility of working together to bring in more light. And I think you'll agree when you look at their channels. So I'm going to tag everybody in this. I want to thank you for watching. I hope you feel the same way. And again, this is an interactive video in the sense that I would love to hear what you think. Did you enjoy this? Did I miss anybody? If you have a spiritual channel, it's okay. Drop your link. I'm asking you to share. I would love for this to be something someone could look at and then discover you. So, love and light. Been wanting to do this video for so long. I appreciate you. And oh yeah, by the way, it's okay if you subscribe to my channel too. I'd like to think I'm one of these, right? Okay, this is Jeannie. See you next video. You can also find me on Mesh Media and podcast. Links in bio. Namaste.